unstoppable kick-ass confidence. Are you ready?
Welcome to the Raw and Unscripted show with Christopher Rausch, where we help you overcome your self-created crap without the self-help fluffy bullshit. Now please welcome our host, Christopher Rausch.
And please welcome your host, Christopher Rausch. Good afternoon, good evening, good day, ladies and gentlemen, rock stars of the Kick-Ass Nation. It is I, Christopher Rausch, your No Excuses coach, back with another episode of the Raw and Unscripted podcast. Thank you so much for being here, whether you're live on the video cast, which we do every single Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or of course, you're listening to us on the audio podcast. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so excited to be here. This is a truly live episode, and tonight we're talking about what's going on in the world. We're talking about a breakdown before the breakthrough. And so we're going to be very raw and unscripted tonight, and I'm happy to say that we're streaming on YouTube. Normally we stream to Facebook and LinkedIn and all these different places and simulcast and all these different places, but tonight we're solely on YouTube. So thank you so much for joining us and being here with us. And the reason for that is to increase my reach. And I will tell you this, in preparing for this show and thinking about things this last week, watching what's going on in the news, it really caused me to take a look at my own life and think about the breakdowns and the breakthroughs that I've had. So we're going to be talking about that tonight. We're going to be talking about real world stuff. So I highly encourage you to take notes and then take action and then continue to hone what it is that you're doing and be a participant in your life. Because so oftentimes we're a spectator and we're waiting for something to happen. We're waiting for someone to come save us. We're waiting for whatever it might be. And I call that existing. And so you got to ask yourself, am I living or am I existing? So if you're truly living, you're out there getting scraped up and bruised up and kicked up, and you're going to bed at night thinking, fuck, I got in the ring. I am in the ring. I'm not a fucking spectator. I'm in the ring. So what is it going to be for you? Are you going to get in the ring? Are you going to stop the excuses? Are you going to stop the insanity? Are you going to stop waiting for someday? Because it really doesn't exist on a calendar. Or are you going to get in there and talk about it and do it? And that's what this conversation is tonight. And I can tell you this, last week we talked about stress reduction. So there is a theme and there is a commitment from me to help you elevate in your life, help me continue to stay stable and elevate in my life so that we're holding each other accountable, because this podcast is in 98 different countries. So chances are you're listening to us from somewhere outside the United States, and I'm in the United States. I'm in Southern California. And first of all, I want to apologize. I want to apologize and say I'm sorry on behalf of my beloved country. There's some things going on right now, and we're making some errors. We're making some mistakes. So please bear with us. I happen to be on the side of humanity. I happen to be on the side of love. I happen to be on the side of inclusion. I don't look at labels. I don't care if you're black, white, straight, gay, Republican, Democrat, German, Russian, Iraqi, as long as you're a good person. As long as you're a good person, as long as you're taking the information that I'm sharing here with you and you're spreading it out with your people and you're continuing to make yourself a better person, right? Can you be a better person? Hell yeah, you can be a better person. We can all be better people. So I encourage you to go back and listen to podcast number 351, because it was all about stress reduction. And I know a lot of us are dealing with stress. And so there were tangible strategies and, more importantly, questions. I love questions. If you're new to the broadcast or new to the podcast, questions, when you answer them honestly, can change everything, right? When will I have had enough of this situation? And you ask yourself and you say, you know what, when it gets to this point, I'll have had enough. And maybe you recognize that you're probably at that point already and that you're just giving yourself an excuse and you're trying to placate other people, when realistically, you got to take care of you, right? Because if I ask you, who do you love the most in this world? Chances are you're not going to say yourself, because people think that's conceited or that's arrogant or that's egotistical. But baby, I love me. I love me. I take care of me. I'm 50. I'll be 57 in about 6 weeks, I think, or about 4 weeks, something like that. So I take care of myself. I was just downstairs playing video games. Like, I take care of myself. I enjoy my life. I enjoy the things that I do. I enjoy the person that I'm becoming. And so much so that this podcast, we're going to be going through some changes. And some of those changes are going to be adding segments to this podcast. So I have a cool thing. I'm just going to show you this real quick. So at the end of the broadcast, we're going to open this thing up and I'm going to take something out, and it's going to be a new part of the broadcast, and it's going to help you, help all of us. And so here's another thing that I want to do. Something I haven't done in many years. And if you don't know this, I'm a coach. I coach people. I mentor people. I get what I do here is I do this specifically one-on-one, and I also do it in a group. But I've been called to make this offer. So for the first 8 men, sorry, ladies, most of my clients are women, but I'm doing this because I've been told so much lately that men need to hear this broadcast. Men need to do this. So for the first 8 people that send me an email, info@noexcusescoach.com, if you're interested in participating in a 6 weeks men's group, I haven't decided all the details. I've just been called to share this and help 8 men. I don't know if there's going to be a charge for this, but I want 8 men to send me an email, info@noexcusescoach.com. If you're interested in spending 6 weeks with me in redesigning your life and being the man that you need to be for your family, for your friends, for your community, because this is what's involved here is we take care of ourselves, we take care of our family, and then we take care of our community, and then we go out to the world. And we can make this world so much a better place when we start taking care of ourselves. So for the first 8 gentlemen, this is something new. I don't have all the details, but if you're interested in working with me for 6 weeks, it could be free. I don't know. I just want to see if there's receptivity in 8 people. And if I get 18 people, then awesome. Then we'll deal with that. But that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm offering. That is what I'm offering, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. And I'm broadcasting only on YouTube tonight. So thank you. And I sat there and I put this in here. Feel free to ask me anything during the podcast. We got Joel. He says, ever go fishing? Hey, man, what's up? Or Joe, apologize. Yeah, I went fishing when I was a kid. And true story, I hooked a fish and it went through its mouth and it got into its eye, and then my grandmother made me unhook it, and I was scarred for life. And I decided I don't eat fish, so I'm not going to go fishing, but I love the idea of going and sitting and kicking it with your friends and doing something together, having a mission, cooking up the fish, having a fish fry, having people around the campfire, having some drinks, having whatever, having conversations. So fishing, no, but would I go? Hell yeah. Let's go, Joe. Got a question already. How would someone deal with alcoholism completely alone? Don't ask why it has to be alone. Wow. Thank you. Zula 3441. Thank you for being here. You know what? I didn't expect that question, but I will tell you this. I have had my fair share of issues with alcohol, and I've never called myself an alcoholic. But I was a very, very high functioning person. I find out in retrospect. So alcoholism, I'd always say, go get help. Right? It's very hard to do it alone. It's not impossible. But what I did is this is what I teach and this is what I coach. I decided my big why. And my big why was already decided that I wanted to live long enough to see my son at that point was 6 or 7. Now he's 9. And I decided, you know what? All these things I tell myself that I want to be alive to see him get married and see him have kids. Yet I'm literally pouring poison into my body, and my body was Jack Daniels, right? Jack Daniels. I was known for Jack Daniels. Everybody get me Jack Daniels lighters, Jack Daniels, everything. And I haven't had Jack Daniels in probably 3 years, 2 years. I don't count. I'm not a counter. I have beer every once in a while, but I did quit drinking for an entire year. And I did that for 3 months. I had never really done it longer than that. Then I did it for 6 months. And then I just decided, what would it be like if I didn't drink anymore? Because I had that why. And so anytime I wanted to have a drink, I sat there and said, you know what, you're pouring poison. So I started doing research, and I started listening to Dr. Anger Huberman, and I started listening to what alcohol really is. And I was like, holy shit, I've been drinking since I was 13 years old. Let me go get my liver scan. Found out, had some nodules on my liver, big picture, stopped. I have a beer every once in a while. My wife did get me a margarita from my favorite Mexican restaurant because they could get it to go. And I tasted it. And it was fucking horrible. So yeah, it can be done. You have a big why. You have a big how. If you want to work with me, might be able to help you. That's not my area of expertise, but I do help people find their why, find leverage, and take action. So thank you for being here. I hope that helps. But yeah, I'm so much better. And, you know, I realized I was running from things, and I realized a lot of things. And so that clarity that comes And here's another beautiful thing for you. On Facebook, there's so many groups like 365 Days Sober, and there's all these groups on there, and you see people posting, and everybody's helping each other out. Like 500 people will comment, like, don't do it today, or hey, here's what I do, and here's what I do, and here's. So you need a support community. So doing it alone, yeah, if you don't want to go to treatment and stuff like that, and I'm not a medical expert, I'm not an alcohol expert or anything like that. I'm just talking about what I've done in my life and what I've helped other people do in their life. So no. Just deal with it. Like, just live your life and be the best version of yourself, and just ask yourself, am I doing my best right now? And I'm not. Okay. So what would it be like if I did? Maybe I'm going to go a week without drinking. Maybe I'm going to go to an occasion and I'm not going to drink. There's so much I could tell you. So you are very welcome. You're very welcome. So let's get into tonight's broadcast. Thank you guys all for joining us. I appreciate you so much. So let me ask you something straight up. Have you felt it? That quiet sense that something in the world feels off, like we're standing in the middle of a shift and nobody gave us a map? You're not imagining it. I got to tell you, man, it's fucking crazy. Like I said, here I'm in Southern California, and I'm just like, oh my God, what can I do? And we're going to get into that. But I thought about this, and I thought, just like when COVID stopped the world in its tracks, right? We all experienced COVID. We're in another shared human moment, and the one that's stretching people emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and a lot of us are trying to do it alone, like you just talked about. And I said this the other day to somebody. I said, mental health is struggling. You think about it. More people are medicated now than ever before. Antidepressants are at all-time high. Depression is at an all-time high. Loneliness is at an all-time high. And like I said at the beginning of the broadcast, I'm hearing that young men aren't asking girls out. I'm hearing all these things. They don't go out. They just go and they play video games and they order Uber Eats and they live in their mom's house and their mom does their laundry. And I'm hearing all about all these different things. So what I'm going to do is, I don't know about this. That's not my area of expertise. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a podcast. I'm going to do one, and where we're going to explore that together. And again, I'm seeing what I can do for the men out there, right? Men are not my target market. Women dig me. Women are most of my coaching clients. So there's that. So that's why I'm reaching out and saying, hey, if men want to coach me, if you want to do a 6-week men's group, I'm not sure exactly what that looks like. If there's overwhelming response, then awesome. And if I get 2 people, if I get nobody, no problem, no big deal. But you know what? We're more connected than we ever have been. So I find that weird. Like, we're more connected, but people are lonelier. Like, especially men, they don't have any friends. They don't have anybody to talk to. I have people I talk to. We have deep conversations. I have a coach. I have a mentor. I have several mentors. So I can call somebody and say, hey, I'm having a tough time. And as a man, as a dude, as I am, if you're not watching this, I'm a tattooed guy who looks very strong and very manly, but I'm very emotional. I'm very sensitive. I'm very in touch with my feelings. I've done a lot of work on myself. And that's why people keep saying, man, I wish my husband, I wish my brother, I wish my cousin, I wish my nephew, I wish my coworker would listen to you. But a lot of people, in life, it's about receptivity. It's about when you are ready. And we're going to be talking about that in tonight's broadcast, because a breakdown is happening. But yet, when I think about it, all of this tells me one thing, that we're not meant to do life this way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about these uncertain times. I'm going to talk about why the hardest seasons often become our greatest transformations, and how we rise through this by lifting each other up instead of tearing each other down. And I will tell you this, like I said before, I'm not into labels. I'm into people. If you're a good person, don't care what color, what sexual orientation, who you pray to, any of that stuff, where you live, what fucking color shirt you wear, I don't give a shit. I love you because we're humanity, right? You split us all down the middle, we're the same. I can get a liver from you. I can get a blood transfusion from you. And last time I checked, I don't know of anybody who's had a life-threatening emergency where they needed a blood transfusion. And if they perhaps were racist or bigoted or whatever there might be, or homophobic, that they didn't say, hey, who did that blood come from? Right? If they're good enough people to take their blood, they're good enough people to share some love. And that's what I want us to do, is lift each other up. And I doubt you're probably one of those people that's a keyboard warrior spouting off and doing all those things behind a keyboard. Don't do that. Like, be a good person for yourself and be a good person for other people. And we lift each other up, and then life becomes amazing. So this is kind of sort of like an awakening. And I will think about it this way. I will share this with you because this is what this podcast is always about, is about love and about sharing, about vulnerability, right? Again, it's not easy. I wasn't born this way. I had to really, really work at it. But I will tell you this, being vulnerable, being vulnerable, being honest, being open, asking the questions that are hard, going to therapy, trying medication, reading tons of self-help books and podcasts and all sorts of content to continually grow myself. I'm happy with who I am. And what I realized through this is my frustration and my sadness about humanity and people suffering. I hate it. I don't watch the news. I don't follow politics, but I hear about it and it breaks my heart. So what I started thinking about, in this breakdown of what's going on in humanity, here's the thing, right? And I say this all the time. Everything that has happened in your life and everything that is happening in your life is preparing you for what's next. And so I had to look at this for myself, and I had to say, okay, what am I being prepared for? Because again, honestly, the last couple of years have been a very big challenge for me, because the challenge isn't in the pursuit of things. The challenge is in relaxing and not always being in pursuit of something, not always validating my ego, not always having something to identify myself as. Oh, I'm the no excuses coach. Oh, I'm a podcaster. Oh, I'm just Chris. I'm a human being out in the world trying to make this place a better place for my kid. I'm being an example for him and for all the other kids that he knows and the other people that know me. They know me for being a loving person. So when I thought about this, what am I being prepared for? Again, the questions you ask yourself. And I thought, you know what? I've been in personal development. I've been a speaker on stages. I've been a coach. I've been an author. I'm doing all these things. My memoir is coming out this year about my crazy insanity life. And I thought, I'm being prepared to be a spokesperson, to be an advocate for humanitarian efforts, to speak up on behalf of all of us, to say, hey, listen, I love you. And together, right? No matter whether you're in Italy, you're in Iraq, you're in wherever, we're in like 98 different countries. And Brazil is a huge market for us right now here on the Raw Unscripted. So thank you, my Brazilian friends. Thank you, everybody. Because last time I checked, we didn't get to choose any of the stuff that's in our life. I mean, aside the extraneous stuff, yeah, but did I choose my identity? Did I choose my color of my skin? Did I choose my parents? They say that we did, but you know what? All of the experiences that I've had in my life, as painful as they have been, and I don't want to repeat them, I realized that they have all happened for me, and they've all helped me become the man that I am today, who I am very proud of. So when I think about this, I got kind of emotional, and I thought, okay, it's not about coaching. It's about impact. So when you think about your life, is that about impact? So when I think about this, here's the first lesson. Here's the first thing I want to bring up to you guys. Like, why painful seasons often become our greatest turning points. Rarely do we grow in comfort, right? When you think back on your life, when have you grown the most? When things were easy and cool? Yeah, everything's awesome. Or when things were challenging. You look back and you're like, fuck, when I went through that divorce. Oh, when my mom died. Oh, when I lost my job. Oh, when I went bankrupt. Oh, when my business failed. Oh, when all these different things, you learned a lot. And not that we want to go back and repeat those experiences, but they help build our character. They help build our sense of value. So when you think about it, if there's disruption happening in your life, you can sit there and say, I want to run away from it. I don't want it to happen. It's bullshit and blah, 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 and be mad and frustrated that it's going on. Or you sit there and say, you know what? How can I be a part of the solution? How can you and I be a part of the solution from our own house, wherever you might be? How can we be a part of the solution? And I think about this in the middle of hardship, we don't have the perspective to see the gift. Oh, why am I going through this again? Oh my God, Jesus Christ, haven't I been tested? And you're not alone if you say this, because I've said it to myself. I've been on this crazy journey of identity, and I used to be identified as a director of operations and all these different things. And over the last couple of years, my greatest challenge has been to relax and to give myself permission to have fun without working for it. Because everything was work, fun. Work, validate, prove, push myself, burn out my adrenals, all these things, fun. And so I'm like, what would it be like if I started having more fun than work? And as oddly as that is, that's a challenge. But in that challenge, there's so many gifts, right? So when you think about, look back at your hardest chapter and ask yourself, what did I learn from that? How did I become a better person? Moreover, do I have the ability? Do I have the wherewithal? Do I have the tenacity? Do I have the guts? Do I have the courage? Do I have the that no matter what comes in my life, I'm gonna figure it the fuck out? We figure it out, ladies and gentlemen. Pain doesn't mean punishment. It often means refinement, right? And so many people, I don't want to be afraid anymore. I don't want pain anymore. I don't want all these quote unquote negative things. But when in your life has that pain or that setback or that betrayal helped you realize something? helped you make a change for the better. Like you left that relationship, then you found the right relationship. You left that job, you found the right job. You stopped that job, you started a business. You stopped eating sugar and gluten and taking terrible care of yourself, and you started taking care of yourself. You started feeling better, and you started doing better. You started going to sleep, feeling proud of the actions that you took during the day. And you wake up and you find yourself grateful. Man, what's today bringing? What do I get to do? How can I use my voice? How can I use my words? How can I use my actions to make the world just a little bit better? Make myself a little bit stronger. Give myself a little bit more freedom and peace and comfort in knowing that all of this is happening to prepare me for what's next. But so oftentimes we're mad at what's happening. We're pissed off, or we're blaming something or someone in the past for our situation right now. Just stop doing that. That does absolutely no good. It takes your power away. It takes your power. If you're blaming your parents, oh yeah, I'm all fucked up because of my parents. How old are you? You're in your 40s? You're in your 30s? You're in your 50s? You're in your 60s? Guess what? Get the fuck over it. Those people were in your life to create that friction for you to do something. And I was telling my son this the other day. He's like, Dad, you're kind of hard on me. And I said, you know what? You've heard me talk about my mom, right? He goes, yeah. He goes, your mom was awfully tough on you. I said, fucking A, never had a dad, was physically abused, was bullied, all these different things, all these horrible situations. But I looked my son right in the eye and I said, you know what? If my mom were here, she's passed away now. I said, my mom were here, I would say, thank you. When you said you did the best you could, and I called bullshit, and I wanted you to be Mrs. Brady or Mrs. Cunningham, those were TV shows when I was a kid. I'm sorry. I was holding you against a standard that is totally and completely unrealistic. So I was comparing you and I was mad at you. But in retrospect, all those situations made me such a strong person, made me such an open person, made me such a loving person, because I got an example of what not to do. Right? My mother always had to be right. The day I learned, do I want to be happier? Do I want to be right? Massive, right? It's pretty incredible what things you can do for yourself. So when you think about that, the question is, why is this happening? But no, you often say, why is this happening? But you sit there and say, who am I becoming because of this? Who am I becoming because of this? So when you think about this, the questions you can ask yourself, if I trusted this season was shaping me, how would I show up differently? How would I show up differently? And often people, I want to be this, and I want to be an actor. I want to be this. I want to be that. I'm like, okay, imagine you're that person now. How would you act if you already had that experience? How would you act if you already had those accolades? How would you act if you already had the money? And I can promise you would probably act differently than you're acting now, because you think, oh, once I get that, then I'll be happy. And Jim Carrey, I think, has said it, and so many people have said it. I wish everybody could achieve their dreams to realize that they're not all what they're cracked up to be. And I can tell you that. I have coached so many people, rich people, super rich, actors, actresses, musicians, rock stars, all sorts of people. And they've achieved that success and that fame, and they're empty and they're frustrated and they're sad and they're depressed. You know why? Because they don't have any gift or meaning in their life to be able to take that painful experience that they might be experiencing. Now everything's handed to them. They're like, oh yeah, it's so easy. And oftentimes people miss the challenging journey. They miss riding in the van to all the gigs and sleeping there and smelling each other's farts and doing those things. They miss those things because that's the grind. That's what shapes us. So number two, when you think about this, how global uncertainty can either divide us or unite us, right? Fear makes people contract. Connection makes people expand. And I will tell you this, when I learned the lesson again, my mother didn't care to understand anybody. She was constantly mad, constantly angry, constantly in control, constantly frustrated, constantly all these different things. And then I realized, you know what? I don't have to be like her. I don't. And was it easy? No. It took constant awareness, responsibility, accountability to think about this. My mother didn't have that connection. So what did I do? I started saying, you know what? Let me seek first to understand, then to be understood. And I believe that's one of the principles in the Think and Grow Rich book, which has been a long time since I've read, but I read it many times. Pretty sure it's in there. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. What would it be like if you understood the people that you were mad at the most? Would you still be mad at them? Would you have an understanding? Would you have an empathy for maybe what they've experienced? Would you have perhaps some commonalities, right? So often right now we're looking at what is different about the people who think differently than us. What's different? Oh, we're different. Oh, no. I can promise you this. Even the whole Republican, Democrat, left, right thing that's going on so often, which is complete asinine bullshit. Because when I talk to people like, what do you ultimately want? Not the method by which we get there, not the labels we put on it, but what do you really want? Do you want our kids to be safe? Yes or no? Yes. Great. Fucking yay. Do you want opportunity to increase your finances, increase your assets? Yes. Right. Do you want to live a healthy life? Yes. Do you want to feel good about the person that you are? Yes. Do you think that it's, as long as somebody's not in your back door with shit, that they can live their own life and be peaceful with that? Yes. Okay. Then chances are we want more of the same than we don't. But so many times we're looking at what the differences are. And so I can tell you this, stop doing that. Otherwise you're going to continue to be frustrated, because if you continue to do what you've always done, you will continue to get what you've always got. Let me say that again. If you continue to do what you've always done, you will continue to get what you've always got. And again, it really does start with the labels. Oh, those people. How about just human beings, right? And I've done this before. Put yourself in that situation. If I put myself, I'm here in Southern California, beach boy, fucking, yeah, laid back, skateboards. But if I grew up in North Michigan, hunting and killing buck and America and Republican and would I be like them? Yes. And if those individuals grew up here in my experiences with my mother and my friends and my whatever, might they be like me? Yeah. There's beautiful people all around this world. And one of the things I see in terms of this divide is the generalization of always and never, or everybody, or all those people. If you can do one thing from this broadcast, is just catch yourself when you're ready to do that othering. And just sit there and say, what am I making this to mean about me? What oftentimes we don't like in others, the things we don't like in ourselves. So there's that mirror. My friend Scott Goyette talks about that. The mirror. We're mirroring each other. So if you're feeling these feelings, where does that stem from? Where does that anger against the man come from? Right. And I know a lot of people are mad and we got to give it to the man. People got to get right and that's the law. And that's, all these different things. What you got to ask yourself is, here's a question for you. Am I reacting to fear or responding with awareness? There's a lot of things to be afraid of. There's a lot of things to be concerned about. I've done shows on this in 2025. The last 6 months, I've done so many shows. One of them was called There Is No Normal. Like people, I just want it to go back to normal. Seems like COVID, everything's been wrong. If you look at history, lots of shit happens. And according to the experts, it's 75, 80 years. And it's in these cycles, which I don't believe in or agree with. But apparently it's the shit that happens. And it's like a big fucking rolling ball, like Indiana Jones. I ain't stopping it. I ain't changing it. What I can do is I can go. I can duck. I can move to the side. I can be proactive instead of reactive. I can sit there and say, you know what? Hey, out of all the things that have happened in my life, have I survived it or have I thrived through it? So what's the opportunity here? Artificial intelligence, it's here. If you're not using ChatGPT or something like that, if you're not getting AI involved in some of your tasks and using it in your job and using it in your decision-making and using it in your research, you need to. And I was that guy for a year and I'm not using chat. That feels lazy and I'm cheating and Guess what? When I started using it, it just made me better. It made what I already did better. So it's not going to go away. We need to have it. You need to be looking at the fact that if the electrical grid goes down, what are you going to do for your family? See, I'm positive, but I'm also realistic. I've got MREs, I've got dry food, I've got gallons of water, I've got water conversion straws, I've got generator, I've got gasoline, I've got all sorts of things. I've got my trailer. Do I have everything? No. Will I be able to help my community? For the people that don't plan, I'm going to try my best. But at least I got something going on. I'm being responsible. I'm being accountable. right? So if you have fear in your life, stop sitting there going, I don't know what's going to happen. Wonder what's going to happen. Like, so let me plan for it. Like, I'll give you an example. We used to go out to the desert. If we didn't have a part, guess what would break? The part we didn't have. So we sat there and said, okay, do we have a starter? Do we have an alternator? Do we have belts? Do we have another coil? Do we have spark plug wires? Do we have spark plugs? Do we have gaskets? Okay, everybody's bringing these parts. So, hey, hopefully if we don't need them, cool. But chances are if we don't have them, we're going to need them. We're going to be pissed. So why not just take that extra action and say, hey, I've got it. I've got a generator downstairs. I still haven't started it, but I got it. I've got the oil. I've got the gas. So I just need to go down there and do it. Not perfect, but at least I'm doing something. So I know that if something goes down, at least I have been taking an active responsibility. And that's what I want you guys to do for your life. Don't just sit there and look at the government and look at everybody and, oh, what are they going to do? Get out there and raise your voice. You know, if you disagree with something, you agree with something, go out there and stand by your brother and your sister and raise a sign and sit there and be positive, be appropriate about it. Right. I don't need to tell you guys all that. But if you're part of the solution and you go to bed at night thinking, hey man, at least I did my part or I did something. And then you wake up the next morning and you say, hey, you know what I can do? What can I do today? What's the one thing I can do today by which doing so will allow me the opportunity to go to bed tonight feeling a part of a community, feeling a part of the world, feeling not so rejected or scared. Because if you're feeling scared, what is it really telling you? Oh, I don't handle change. Okay, so maybe when in my life have I handled the change? Well, I've handled change quite a bit. Okay, cool. Geez, what can I do next? Here's another question. Where am I contributing to division without realizing it? Right? Your friend calls up and you listen to him every day. Oh man, yeah, that's bad. That's bad. Oh, I agree with you. That sucks. Yep. I would do the same thing. All right. See you later. Maybe you're just there. What are you doing about it? Like I sit there and think in terms of me and myself. And I'm like, oh, I'm wanting to change the world. I want to change the world. I want to change the world. But then I realized that's tough. But what can I realistically do? I can do something in my community. So as much as I didn't want to, there was a slip that came home from my son's school. It's a brand new school. And it says, hey, we need some parents to volunteer for our committee. It's working with the teachers and the principal, some other things to work on how incoming funds for the school are spent. And immediately my negativity came up and said, oh, I'm going to sit in a room full of Karens. They're going to be like, we can't use red pen because the kids are going to be sad, which I did hear that before at a different board meeting. And I sat there and said, you know what, Chris, that doesn't fucking matter what I want. Can I be a voice? Can I be that voice of reason? Perhaps if there's a bunch of people in the room that think one way, I could be that disruptive voice to sit there and say, hey, how about we look at mental health? Like these kids are going home to parents who are fucking struggling and saying shit out loud, thinking their kids aren't getting it. Oh, let me just tell you what to say and what to think and not copy me, which is a bunch of bullshit. My mom used to say that, do as I say, not as I do, which is fucking a load of crap. So I can be an advocate in there. Do I want to do it? No. In a way, yeah. Okay. Yes, I want to do it. I want to be there. I want to be a role model. I want to be a spokesperson for my son so that he looks and sees his mom joining Cub Scouts and becoming a den mother and his dad going to the school and going to the school board meetings and going to the city council meetings and coming home and talking about, oh, hey, they're going to put a homeless shelter. Oh, like that's really cool. Hey, they're doing this. Like get involved. Oh, I don't want to get involved in politics. It's not my thing, whatever. Just go there and listen. And if you walk away frustrated and mad, okay, what can I do? Right? If you're here in the United States, there's an app called Nextdoor. You can reach out with your community. You can not only do that, you can walk around to your neighbors and say, hi, my name's Chris. If you ever need food or you're in a bad way, or if you're depressed, guess what? I'm a motivational speaker. I do a podcast. I would love to talk to you. Just come over and knock on my door. I'd be happy to help you out. I'd be happy to help your kids out. If you have teenagers and they need some mentoring, let me do that. In my little community, right? There's probably, I don't know, 100 houses. I don't know. I've never walked around and counted, but there's a little geographic square that I'm in that I can sit there and label it and go, you know what? Let me go out and reach out. Of course, I got to take a look at how I look and people looking at their doorbells going, who the fuck is this guy showing up to my house? What's up? We got Zula in here. We got Believe in Yourself. What's going on? I think that's Robert. Everybody usually is coming from Facebook. So I know people are probably going, where in the hell is Chris? Even though I sent out the link, but that's okay. That's okay. You guys are here. We're here. You might be watching on the replay. So let's continue on. So let's, here's a practical takeaway. Have one conversation this week where your only goal is to understand, not convince. With your spouse, with your kids, with your friends, like We have two of these, two ears and one mouth. And so I encourage people, listen more than you speak. And when somebody says something, don't be preparing your answer while they're speaking and interrupt them and go, oh, yeah, I know what you're going to say. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Here's what I'm doing. And I deal with that. And I was actually speaking. And if I'm talking to the person, I'll say that. I'm like, hey, I was actually talking. Can you do me a favor and hold that for a second and actually listen? Did you hear what I said? Well, here's what I think you said. No, I don't want you to think what I said. I want you to know what I said. And if you know what I said, then you care. And if I know you care, then I care. But if I see your facial expression going, oh yeah, and you're already preparing your answer, guess what? That doesn't do anything. But when you truly intentionally listen and you say, hey, I really want to hear what you have to say. And then you shut up and you listen, you go, oh my God, I didn't know that. Can you tell me more about that? And that person goes, wow, they're really listening. They care. You could tell by their body language because 85% of the communication is in our body language. So don't be doing this shit. Yeah, I got you. I'm listening. And you got your phone, right? Depending you guys are watching. So I got my phone up. A lot of people are, yeah. And I was past master at this. I could actually type something, listen to you and look in a different direction and get it all. That was fine. Yeah, I heard what you said. And I'd repeat it back to him. Like, how did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. ADHD on crack. But what I realized is people were like, well, it didn't seem like you were listening. So then I would stop and I'd put my phone down. I'm like, okay, you have my undivided attention. Let me close my door. Let me put my phone on vibrate. Let me turn it off. Take a couple of preemptive measures to sit there and say, you know what, I really care about this conversation. You know what, let me close the door. That way we're not interrupted. People soften up. And then when they get vulnerable, they tell you the truth and they tell you what's going on. Right? How are you doing? How many times do you say, how are you doing? And then you never listen. Oh, yeah, good. No, I really care. I'm asking you, how are you doing? And I've done that. How are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. No. I was asking you how you're doing. Like, really, how are you doing? Because I care. And you're looking at them in the eyes. And oh, fuck. The other 95% of the people just asked me how I was doing and fucking kept on walking. Yeah. You show people you care. And then people care about you. And then you realize people care about you. And then you go out and you care about other people. Right. And I tell people all the time, like, can you spend the next 7 days, every time you see somebody leaving a driveway, can you just let them in? Because a lot of us will speed up. Oh yeah, I'm in such a hurry. Do you really need that 8 seconds? Right? Just stop and just force yourself. Hey man, wave. Get in, go in, no problem. See somebody merging, slow down, let them in. Hey, they may not wave, they may not appreciate it. That person may be working fucking 5 jobs, get ready to go bankrupt, going through a divorce, and got medical issues. You don't know. You don't know what other people are going through. You don't know what they've been through. That's the shared common humanity that I'm talking about. We've all been through some shit. No matter where you're at, no matter how rich, poor, physically able, not able, any fucking generic fucking description you want to put on it, we've all been through some shit. And so, number 3, why reaching out matters more now than ever. People are surrounded by digital noise, but starving for real connection. This is what I'm hearing from men, especially. So if you're just jumping into the broadcast live right now, I said this at the top of the show, 8 men who send me an email, info@noexcusescoach.com. It's got to be that way. That way I can pick, because I might get fucking 80 men. But 8 men who will commit to 6 weeks to work with me. I'm not sure what that looks like, but I just feel called to do it because men need that right now. And I'm here to offer that, whatever I can do, whether it's free, whether it's for a little bit of an investment. People pay, they pay attention, that kind of thing. Most people struggling don't need advice. They don't need advice. Oh, yeah, I'm going to tell them this, and I'm going to tell them that. I'm going to tell them. Just listen, right? I'll sit down with somebody. I'm like, what do you want from me in this particular situation? Do you want advice? Do you just want me to listen? Do you want support? Tell me what it is that you need so I can put myself in that frame of mind. Because chances are we're going to, that person already knows what to do. I don't fucking post shit half the time on Facebook that I'm going through something, because I will say, hey, don't need any advice. I just want to let you know I'm human and I'm going through this thing. People can't help themselves. Oh, you should try lemon with water. You should try this. You should try this. You should try this. People can't help themselves. They want to be helpful. But listen, hey man, I've been there. I've thrown up for 24 hours too, man. Get better, bro. I got you. Right? If you need anything, let me know. I've got a couple of handy little recipes that might be able to help you. Honey with lemon, whatever it might be. Reaching out isn't weakness. Oh, I'm afraid I don't tell any. Do you talk to anybody? No. How come? I don't want to bother them. Does that person care about you? Does that person really love you? Yeah. Definitely. Most definitely. Okay. Do you want people to come to you and if they're not doing good, do you care about them? Can you help them out? Maybe give them, listen, whatever it might be. Yeah. Okay. Then how come that's not good for you? Again, this whole, I'm a strong person. I'm independent. I don't want people to see fuck all that. Fuck all that. You're real. You got problems. I call them opportunities, but we got shit. I've got shit. I've got so many answers, but yet I still reach out to people. And, hey, I just talked to my buddy Walt last week. I talked to my buddy Jock the week before. I talk to people like, hey, here's what I'm dealing with. Here's what's going on. What are you going with? What are you dealing with? Oh, I'm dealing with this. Okay, fuck yeah. We're in the mix. I'm here for you. Okay, here's what I can do. Okay, what can you do for me? Right? We heal faster together than alone. So here's some questions to think about on this thing while reaching out. Who has been on my mind lately that I haven't reached out to? I just did this with somebody. Somebody's birthday was yesterday, and I fucking texted them. I haven't talked to them in a while, but I'm pretty sure today's your birthday. Happy birthday, brother. Had a couple of exchanges back. Like I feel that I need to reach out to some people from my past because I've changed and I've grown so much that I was thinking about what would be a regret of mine is that a lot of people see me in a different way. They don't know how I've changed over the last 6 years. So I don't want to leave. And now I've realized who I was, not that I was bad, but I was a different person. I was a driven person, very sarcastic, very funny, all these different things. But, in some respects, I regret that. Maybe I didn't handle myself the best way. But again, like when I was talking about earlier about alcohol, once I stopped drinking, I couldn't run from anything anymore. And so many of you guys are out there in your short-term gratifications, hoping, wishing, and praying that something changes. Like, just stop. Hey, what would it be like if I didn't watch Netflix for a week? What would it be like if I fucking read a book for a week? What would it be like if I listened to a podcast every single day? What would it be like if every day I spent an hour learning about AI? Like, your problems and your issues and things of that nature are not going to go away. You band-aid them and I'm helping these people. I'm doing all that. Help yourself first. Because when you take care of yourself and you feel really good about yourself, then you really genuinely, earnestly want to help other people like I do, right? I've got a great life. It's not without its challenges and whatnot, but I have a very blessed life and I'm very thankful for it. And that's all I want for people is to feel better and to do better and to love and to organize and to communicate and not let these people, the powers to be, dictate our future. There's strength in numbers. There's strength in opportunities for us to reach out and to fight for what's right and what's fair for everybody together, right? And if I go down swinging, if I go down and I die and the world goes to shit and my son will see that. My son already sees that, how much I care about humanity. My wife sees that. I have a sticker on my back of my truck that says One Love. It's a heart. It's Bob Marley. And then right below it, it says, unity. And it says all religions, all faiths, all everybody accepted. So, and then I have a sign on my front yard that says equality, inclusion, love, blah, blah, blah. It's a flag that I put on a piece of board so people driving by can see it. Like nobody cares. There's a guy that cares. He's got two things. He's got two ways of communicating. I'm sitting in traffic. Oh, everybody fucking sucks. There's a guy in a big truck and he's fucking tattooed and got his hat on backwards and a bandana. He's America. Oh, wait, he's got one love. He's got unity. Right. So what can you do? We can all do something. So who's been on your mind lately you haven't reached out to? If I disappeared for a week, who would notice? And here's another question. How would I want someone to show up for me? Right. So here's what you could do. Send somebody a message and just say, across my mind, how are you doing? How are you really doing? Let's grab lunch. Let's talk. No fixing, just being present. Okay. You guys digging this? Hit me up in the comments. I appreciate your comments. Hit me up with any questions. I'm always here to ask questions. Number 4, how curiosity replaces fear in times of change. Fear closes the mind. Curiosity opens the possibility. I was just talking to my group coaching clients yesterday. And I said, we were talking about patterns. And I said, what would it be like if you were curious and adventurous every day? Not fearful, but curious and adventurous. I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to decide that I'm curious about what's going on. I'm adventurous. Because when we're kids, we're curious and adventurous. But then people tell us to get our heads out of the clouds and get realistic and stop daydreaming and all these different things. They tell us to be kids, and all of a sudden they tell us to grow up. So think about that. Here's another thing. Fear says this is happening to me. Opportunity says this is happening for me. Curiosity says, what can I learn from this? It's powerful. Like when you think about your life, you think about everything that's going on right now, ask yourself, what am I supposed to be learning from this? How am I supposed to be growing from this? Instead of, why is this happening to me? You see the difference? You see the ownership? You see the strength? What am I supposed to be learning from this, as opposed to, why does this keep happening to me? Victim or victor? You choose. You, the listener, the viewer, you get to choose. And let me tell you something. The future has always been uncertain, right? Oh, the future is uncertain. They're talking about all sorts of shit. I know a lot of things. If you want to get just an idea, watch the Tony Robbins interview on the Diary of a CEO podcast. That's all I watch. Diary of a CEO with Stephen Bartlett and Modern Wisdom with Chris Williamson. There's a ton of experts on there. A ton of experts. When you think about this, the future has always been unpredictable. I don't know what's going to happen 10 minutes from now. Yesterday here in Southern California, I was up here in my office. We had a 5.1 earthquake about 7 miles away from me, I think. Ran out to the balcony or to the top of the stairs, and I went, hey, to my wife and my son, did you guys feel that? They didn't feel it. I'm only seconds away from a fucking major catastrophic earthquake in Southern California. Perhaps the whole Pacific Rim, all the way through Oregon and Washington. And it also can even impact Yellowstone and the volcano that's underneath the ground there that could explode and put ash over the entire western half of the United States. One tectonic plate just needs to go, and then I know, I've done research on it. They're talking about the big one here in Southern California on the San Andreas Fault. The ground can move either direction 5 feet. You fucking imagine that? I don't know what's going to happen next. I don't know. I have a doctor's appointment on February 16th. I could go in there and they could give me my blood results and something could happen. So I'm not going to live my life in fear of what if. I'm going to live my life in the now of what can be. Who can I be right now? Who can I be right after this podcast? Who can I be for my family? How can I make myself a little bit stronger? Right? I went to the gym today. Didn't feel like it. Was there for almost an hour. Once I got there and once I decided, you know what, I'm here, fucking push it. How would I work out if a film crew was watching me right now? How would I work out if my son was watching me taking notes? How would I work if I was single? How would I work out if I was trying to attract a mate right now? Sometimes I'm going through the motions. Am I going through the motions, or am I here to fucking work out? I'm here to fucking work out. Let's go. Turn the volume up. Huh? Right? Almost 57. Your attitude. That's why I'm the no excuses coach. People said, how have you been homeless and all these different things? And I'm like, I never stopped. Hence why I talk about being unstoppable. And I never gave myself excuses. I just kept going. I kept trying. I kept doing. Kept being, kept learning, kept asking, kept listening, kept going, kept trying, kept bettering. Dun, 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 dun. Was it easy? No. I don't know how I did half the shit I did, but I did it because I was driven. And now I'm driven more than ever to bring unity and love and togetherness in this world of chaos. So much is can be negative, but so much is beautiful because I believe, and here's the truth. Here's the truth. Here's how I process everything that's going on in the world and my mental health and everything is that, yeah, perhaps it's going to get dark. Perhaps it's going to get really fucking sick and bad. Maybe it's going to be super bad for me and my family. I don't know. Quite possibly it could be. But on the other side of that, as we've been talking about through this entire broadcast, when I look back on my life, when you look back on your life, those challenges and those struggles, although they sucked and we never want to repeat them again, on the other side of them, we look back and I'm like, fuck. I have so much more gratitude. Like I've had so many people tell me that because they had cancer and had chemo and had radiation and had shit removed, they're so thankful because they're so grateful that now they don't take life for granted. So there's people that have stared death in the face and said, man, I am so grateful for that. I've had people have amputations. I'm so grateful because now I'm so aware. I'm so aware. I was taking a deep breath the other day and I'm like, God, thank you. Like we are right now. It's, we can smell the the orange groves. Got orange groves all around me. Oh, it smelled so beautiful last night. I'm like, who fucking sprayed air freshener outside? I literally said that to myself. I'm like, who sprayed air freshener outside? It smells like the inside of my house. We got those Glade plugins, which are actually bad for you, but that's a whole other subject. But I walked out and I'm like, man, I'm so grateful I could smell. Because there's people that had COVID, long COVID, can't smell, can't taste. Like, fuck, that would suck. That would suck. So again, your perspective, right? You could be looking here going, oh, everything sucks and everything's terrible and I suck. And when is it ever going to get better? And victim. You click a few ways over here and you, God, geez, they're challenging. What am I supposed to be learning from this? How can I make tomorrow a greater day? What's my intention? What am I really trying to do? How can I stop running away from my problems? How can I get healthier? How can I be more committed to my job and my family? And what books can I read? And what things can I research? And how possibilities? Are you giving yourself possibilities or are you giving yourself excuses? I tell people, no excuses, just results. And when you take that imperfect action, here's the thing, Chris, I don't know where to start. It's going to be so hard. Yeah, it's going to be all those things, but just fucking start. I've had so many people, I want to write a book, but I don't know where to start. Just fucking start writing, whatever it might be. Pick a story, pick the greatest story in your life and start writing about it. And then write shit on the back half and then write shit on the front half of that story. What is it that you ultimately want to communicate? What's the message I want people to take, right? If you guys are at all interested, my memoir, here's the sample cover. It's Just You and Me, Kid. It's justyouandmekid.com. My memoir was a fucking pain to write. It was supposed to be published 3 years ago. And here I am raising my hand saying, hey, this is a longer process. This is a lot. And now I literally started running it, I think in October of 2020. It will be out this year. It's justyouandmekid.com. But there's so much psychology into that. But again, I just started writing and kept writing. And then I started editing and then I kept editing. And I just, okay, am I going to self-publish? Each step. Take that imperfect action, guys. Take that imperfect action. Decide tonight. Decide right now, whenever you're listening to this, what's something I could do that's imperfect? How can I take that next step? Can I go sign up for a gym membership? Can I get a trainer? Can I go buy a book? Can I go to the library? Can I do all these different things? Can I listen to the podcast that Chris is talking about? Can I listen to Chris's podcast? Here's the thing. I can guarantee you this. We've been going, this is our 7th year. We're on episode number 352. I can promise you this. Here's the thing. Take each episode, take 3 things from each episode, and then go apply them during the next 7 days. Can you do 3 things from this episode in the next 7 days and then come back and listen to another episode and do 3 more things? And then you imagine 7 weeks, 7 times 3 is 21. If you did 21 different actions in the next 7 weeks, can you imagine how different your life would be? How much stronger you would be? Yes, you can. I don't care if you've never been able to do it before. You tried it before and you failed. I don't care. You can do it. Say yes. Because here's the thing I can promise. And I've done this. It's all about leverage. So I tell you, hey, who's the person you love the most? Oh, my son. How old's your son? 9. What's his name? Jackson. Would you do anything for Jackson? Yes. Anything? Yes. Scale of 1 to 10, would you take a bullet from him? Yes. Okay. If I asked you to raise $10,000 in the next 7 days and it can't be illegal, immoral, or unethical, would you do it? Oh, geez. If I put a gun to your son's head and said I was going to pull the trigger in 7 days, would you do it? Yes. What's the difference? You just made a decision. So are you ready to make a decision? Here's the decision. If you're a guy and you're interested in spending 6 weeks with me, let's see what's up. Let's see what's up. info@noexcusescoach.com. Okay. So when you think about this, what are some simple ways to lift others when you feel stretched out yourself? Number 1, you don't need to be fully healed to help someone else. Small acts of kindness create emotional ripple effects. Like, go put a note on your neighbor's window. Hey, have an awesome day. Thank you for being a great neighbor. Lift others up, lifts us up too. I know this. When I volunteered at homeless shelters, when I mentored at-risk kids, when I've done everything in my life that I've done to give to other people, even just doing this, I am going to get a feeling of satisfaction knowing that my voice hit 98 countries around the spinning marble in space. Right? Somebody said this the other day. We're a fucking little rock in space and we think we're going to live forever. We're here for a nanosecond. Our life, our hopefully 70, 80 years of life. I'm 57. I can do the math. It's scary. But I can lift people up too. Presence beats perfection. Like, oh, it's got to be perfect. It's got to be this. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. It's going to be great when you do it, because then you can change it and you can go back to it and you can modify it and you can do all these different things. So what is it that you're going to do from this conversation tonight, guys? Right? If you got value out of this, please share this out. Share this out with your social media. Call some people up. Say, hey, I listened to this podcast. This guy was really cool. He got me to think about something differently. Perhaps for Zula 3441, who talked about alcoholism, perhaps you could share this out and you could start taking those steps to yourself. And then you could come back in 7 days and show up here and type in the comments, hey, I've gone 7 days without a drink. Thank you. And then you show up another 7 days. Hey, I've gone 14 days. Hey, I'm starting to read this book. I was going to give you guys a book recommendation. Oh, there it is. I just finished this book, Jeremy Renner, the actor. It's called My Next Breath. The guy got ran over by a snowplow, and it talks about how he changed his perspective on pain. That's the real reason why I wanted to read it, but amazing book. So Jeremy Renner, the actor, My Next Breath. Holy shit. I could talk so much about that. So thank you guys for showing up here. Thank you for being here on YouTube. I will be back here next week. If you guys are new to the podcast, go to rawandunscripted.com. You guys can find us on Spotify, on Apple, on iHeart, on Amazon, wherever you want to. Go back and listen to some of the previous episodes. Go back and listen to some of the first episodes and say, man, what was this guy like when he first started? I bet you I was still passionate. I know I was. And still on a mission. So here I am 7 years later, doing the same podcast, sitting in the same office, talking to you guys, because I care about you, because I love you. I love myself. I love my family. I don't hate. No, I care about you. So with that, I love you guys. I'm going to go be a dad. Raw and unscripted out. Go out there and be the person that you dream to be. Okay? Peace.